Hi, everybody. Like I say in my videos, I'm not responsible if anybody gets hurt. It's just my opinion, and I hope everybody had a good day. Is having a good day. Today, I'm going to do a reading about Prince Charles and his thing with his thoughts of his, his thoughts with Harry wanting to divorce Meghan Markle. Prince Charles was born November 14th, 1948. He's a Scorpio. He's 76. He was born in London, England, and he has two kids, William and Harry. So, yeah. So I'm gonna ask a couple questions about that. Is he gonna ask? I'm gonna ask. I don't know if a lot of people know this, that the Queen asked him and Princess Di to get a divorce. Is he gonna say to Harry, get a divorce from Meghan because enough is enough? Because I'm getting old. I got cancer and I'm dying. So yeah. I might ask a question on that too. I'll ask about your different questions. This is about Prince Charles. Is he gonna want to get a divorce? Want his son Harry to get a divorce from Meghan? Is he gonna say, "Hey, enough is enough. You need to come back"? Is he gonna say that? Please tell me. Is he gonna want them to get a divorce? I'll do three cards. Entertainment purposes. Yeah, he's gonna want them to get a divorce. This competition. Yeah, he's tired of the. He wants it to feel. He wants them to come back. He wants his son to come back and travel to come back and celebrate the his life before he passes away, and celebrate his life because this November, if he's still around, he'll be 79 years old. So he's headed toward 80 if he's still around. So he wants his son Harry to come. He thinks he's going to try to have inner strength with Harry, and well, even though he's sick, he wants inner strength and work out having he does, but he's getting weaker. He's weakness, the cancer's getting to him, so he's getting weaker and weaker. That's interesting. Um, and he has pride. He's struggling with his health. His health is getting weaker. He's getting sicker and sicker, and he's struggling to, probably able to eat and drink liquids and sleeping. He's having it's bothering his health, is taking its toll on his health. And probably also the fighting doesn't help either. Him having disagreements with Harry and Meghan doesn't help his health too. So that he's struggling with his health. He's following with his heart. Like he saying he's trying to forgive Harry because of all the crap he's put the family through. So he's trying to forgive him and move forward and be the better man and say, "Look, Harry, I'm opening a branch here, trying to say I want you to come back." So yeah, he's trying to help. He's falling with his heart. He's trying to be a proposal saying, "Come on back to the fold. Come back to the coming back to the royal family." So I'm going to ask, does he really want his son to come back? It says he does. His health is bad, and he does want him. But does he really want his son to come back because of all the crap? It says it does. But does he really? Is he saying this because he wants the public to like him? Or is this true? Does he really want Harry to come? It says he does because of his health. His struggling with his health is getting worse. It says it is. So I'm going to ask, is he really want Harry to come, or is it just because of his health and he wants to be popular king? Does Charles want Harry to come back, or is it just because of his health? It says right now, it says health, but I'm going to go a little deeper. Does he really want his son to come? even though Harry's put him through the hill. Does Charles want Harry to come back? Really? It says it does, but I'm going to go deeper. Uh, Unfulfilled love. He doesn't feel loved toward him too much anymore because he's been through the ringer with Harry and Meghan. He's really pissed off. He's trying to forgive and forget, but he's still really upset with them. So, but he wants a connection with him, even though he is pissed off with Harry. He wants a partnership with him. He wants to. He wants good karma and a better life for himself and his sons. He wants better things for him and his son. He wants things to get better between him and Harry, but he's fear of change because he doesn't know what could happen if he brings Harry back to the fold. He doesn't know if he can trust Harry anymore because of being burnt, because of he's fear of change and suffering. He's worried this disaster. He's worried there will be disastrous consequences if he lets Harry come back. He's just scared, like bad things will worse get if he lets Harry come back. Wow, that's interesting. So he's scared, and he thinks there'll be bad time, like something would happen. So he wants him to come back, but he's also scared that something bad would come out of him returning, because Meghan might have to come, and he doesn't want her to. Yeah, he's scared that if Harry comes, that Meghan would come and worse things would come. So he's worried that chaos would happen, and bad karma. This is the Tower in reverse. Yeah. He thinks bad things would come. And there's bad timing. So, yeah, he does sort of want him to come, but wants a good connection with his son, but he's worried that if he comes, bad things will happen if Meghan shows up with them. All right, so I'm going to go deeper. Does he really want Meghan to get a divorce? It says yes, but we'll see if I can go even deeper. Does he really want Harry to get a divorce? I'll ask one more time. Does Charles really want him to say enough is enough? Like I said before, it says yes, but we'll see if I can do one more. Please. I'll do 4 cards and see if this will happen. Does Charles really want Harry to get a divorce from Meghan, his wife? He thinks his son would feel, he would be afraid of Meghan because he knows that she's very greedy and would worry that she would expect a lot of money out of this marriage if they break up, if they break up. And he thinks she's very stubborn, and both of them are very stubborn. Her particular, she would not go out without a fight. Charles is worried that Harry's, wife would cause problems and, financial problems. So he would worry about more her than him in this one. And he would be aware of how she is and how she wants money. She's very money hungry and only cares about money, and he would be very withdrawn. Harry, once the marriage would be over, he if the marriage, he would want to be happy, but he also would be withdrawn. He would be a little bit happy that he left, but he would be very withdrawn because he worked so hard with this marriage that he'd be upset, withdrawn, have a lot of depression. And he would have some courage. Charles would be courage and saying to Harry, you need to get out of this marriage. It's toxic. It's enough is enough. You need to get out. She's a narcissistic. She only thinks of herself. Uh, yeah, he's very focused, Charles, in the marriage toward Meg and Harry. He's focused. He knows how bad and detrimental it is to Harry. He knows it's bad for him. Um, and wants his son to have life and joy in the rest of his life, not always be worrying, being worrying about what he says and what he does. He wants his son to be joyful and happy in his life, not worried, always being around her and saying the wrong thing or acting, have to correct her himself, being around a narcissistic person. And there's delays, though. There's delays in the divorce. It'd take a long time because she would fight cats and dogs, So, yeah, there were delays and holding off. I think she would hold off, like saying about the money, the kids, about it because she wouldn't know, because she would want to stay because she knows that she couldn't get anybody else right now. So she would be holding on to William. So Charles knows that she would he would panic too because he's worried that she wouldn't give up Harry without a real fight. So he's worried that Meghan would not, would try to keep hold of Harry for a long time, not to let go because she, he's the goose with the golden egg. Why should she leave? So he's worried about that. He's in a panic about, he's in a panic right now about, he wants her. Yeah, he's worried about that. All right, I'm gonna ask about his marriage to Princess Di because I thought she was great. Um, did he marry her just to, do heirs, to have kids? He ended up having two. Did he just marry her to have children? Did Charles only marry her to have children? Because she was young. She was, I think, 19 when they got married, and he was in his late 20s, early 30s. All right. Yeah, it says, he loved himself. Like, oh, I love myself. He cared about himself, his image. He was a playboy. He had disharmony in the relationship. He wasn't sure if he wanted to marry her. He felt like he was forced into it. Like he didn't really want to marry her. He was forced into it. He had no alternatives right at the time. And he knew this, and there were tensions in their relationship even before they got married. He didn't really want to be married to her, but he felt like he was forced into this. So yeah. And after their marriage, they had broken communications. He was a hard person to be around, and there was bad luck in their marriage. He cheated on her with Camilla, and he was not faithful to her, I think, throughout the marriage. And Carilla was his lover and stuff, and he had no control about his urges to be infidelity. He was very infidelity. He had no control, and he didn't treat. I'm gonna look up something else. And he resistant to change. He didn't want to be, he resistant to change. He liked his bachelor ways. He didn't want. I think it was hard for him to be married because he didn't like to change. He liked to be the bachelor lifestyle. So he didn't really want to change, even though he had to because he was married. His family was putting him pressure. He had courage and passion. He tried to make this marriage work because he wanted, the royal family to look popular. Excuse me. And he wanted people to, he wanted to be compassionate to his wife and his family. He didn't want to come from a broken home, so he tried to make it work. So he did try to make it work with Diana, but he always had the rolling eye of like he liked to be a bachelor, and he tried to make it work, but he didn't want to marry her. He was forced into her. I'm gonna ask, Uh, I'm gonna ask when it. I know this is a determined part. Does did Harry and William? A lot of people are gonna say, "Why you're asking this?" Because I'm always interested in this. You know, is Harry and William Charles's children bloodline? Can he have children? I'll ask that. Can Charles have? Is he able to? Have children? They were married because I think William does look like in my opinion, this is my opinion. I think he looks a lot like Diana, and Harry does not look like his father. It happens unless it skipped a generation. So we'll see. Can he? First, I'll ask. Could Charles have have children? Could he have? Can he have? Could have he? Can that? Could he? Please tell me. Could Charles have children with with Diana? Could he? First ask that, and then I'll ask individual. Could he have? It says yes, he could have children. He loved. He loved the idea of being a father and doting on the kids and raising them and stuff. He wanted a family because they didn't have the kind of family that he did. Like his parents were not really, very loving toward him. They were very standoffish, especially his mother. His father was not close either, but mainly his mother was not the more warm and cuddly person. So he wanted a family to be warm and cuddly. And he noticed that in Diana, even though she was shy, she was very good with kids because she was a teacher and she liked children. So he knew that he was going to find her a good mate in having children with Diana. He had insight that he would be able to have children, that he thought, oh, yeah, I can have children. There were opportunities, though, that he thought maybe he wasn't so sure that he could have children. He wasn't sure that he could. He wasn't sure, if he could have children. And there were opportunities that maybe he would have to, do other ways of having children. Maybe he would have to do adoption, even though the royal family would have to hide that because maybe there would be other opportunities. Maybe they would have to do opportunities of an adoption if he couldn't have children with Diana. And he had some self-doubt. He wasn't sure if Harry and he wasn't sure if Harry and William were his kids. He was, he wasn't sure if he could. He thought he could have children, but he wasn't so sure. And he was critical of his manlyhood, like, oh, can he perform, in the bedroom, entertainment purposes? Like, he wasn't so sure if he could, get the job done right, so to speak. So he wasn't sure if he could be, he was critical if he could have children, He thought he could, but he was critical, and he wanted to have children to pass down the line, So he said he thought he could have children, but it might be hard for him to do it. And if they couldn't, they would do adoption. Interesting. All right, I'm going to ask Charles, is William your natural son? Charles, is William your natural son? Whoa. Self-discipline. He had discipline, when he, went to do his job about having children with Diane. It says, and in lack of direction, control. He was aggressive with her, in the bedroom, she probably at sometimes she didn't want to do it. So I think she said, oh, I don't want to do it. But he sort of made her do it. So, and he lacked control of wanting to, she wasn't, I guess he thought she wasn't in the best in the bedroom, so he lacked control on that. And he was very aggressive with her. He was not the best husband. He was hard on her. Um, he was bored in this relationship or having sex with her, entertainment purpose. He was bored in the relationship with Diana. Charles thought, oh God, I'm getting bored in the bedroom, bored in the relationship. So he was not happy. I'm saying what he thinks. He was not satisfied with Diana. This is him. And he tried to be empathic with her, and he got disconnected with her, like, oh God, I'm getting bored with her. I'll find someone else to be with. So also it says no, that I'm going to go a little further. It says no, that William's not his child, but I'm going to go a little deeper. Because it said that he was having trouble in the bedroom with her. Like, she wasn't happy with him in the bedroom, and she wasn't happy with him. So I'll ask 3 more cards. Is William his biological kid? All right, it says self-respect. He tried to be self-respectful of her when he could be around her, because he had to be married to her. So King Charles had to be nice to Diana and tried to be, but he was selfish, he was selfish and jealous because Charles wanted how everybody loved Diana. He wanted that. He was jealous of her, how popular she was when they were dating and they got married and had children. He was jealous of that. He was jealous that she got all the attention. Charles wanted the attention, and he was jealous of that. Also, he was jealous of the attention that she was given with the kids, so he was jealous. Speed. So he knew that he had to have children fast because he wasn't sure how long this marriage to last. So he tried to go quickly into getting to have children and wanted this relationship to go quickly because they weren't, I don't think they were engaged too long, like some people get engaged for 2 or 3 years. They were, I think, engaged for a year or something, so they speeded the relationship because he wanted to, and swift change. So there was change. Maybe she couldn't have children with him, so she went somewhere else. Wow. And transformation. Yeah, I feel like it says that there was problems in the bedroom, and she tried to transformation change. Maybe she had other ideas of who she could go with. So it says that in the bottom, it's on the top, it says he's having problems delivering, but in the thing it says yes, he did have. So I think William is his child, but it was hard for him to do it because William looks so much like, to me, like Diane, because I think he had trouble, performing, because, so, yeah, it says he had trouble performing. So now I'm going to ask the $1 million, is Harry his, because he has red hair? So let's ask, is Harry Charles's kid, or was he, not? Alright. She respected her relationship with Charles, Diane, and she wanted this relationship to work. He wanted the relationship work, and he liked to be the leader in the relationship. He liked to be the one in charge in the relationship. And he wanted to be a father figure. He wanted more kids, more than one. So he wanted more kids. And he wanted to protect, and he liked to be the one in control of the relationship, to be the man of the family. He tried to be, he was disconnected, though, with her, the idea of having another child. He wanted one, but he wasn't sure if it would be with her, so he was disconnected. He wasn't sure if he was interested in Diana after a while, after being married for a while. He was disconnected, like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to have another child with you. We had one, so that's fine with me. We don't need another one. So, and um, he fought with her and had disagreements with her. And there was at least baggage. There was baggage. She always thought in the back of her mind that that Charles had a mistress, and she wasn't sure. Yeah, he had he had bags. You know how they say people have bags, other people they've been with. So she thought that he was cheating on her, and he wanted to go, not stay in the relationship. He went out of the relationship. So yeah, he was wanted to leave her behind and not stay in the relationship after William was born. So right now, even though the cards say that Harry is his cards, it says he wanted to, he was disconnected with her. I'm going to ask one more time, because right now it says Charles was after William was born. He was disconnected with Diane. He didn't want a relationship with him after a few years. He was tired. So I'm going to ask one more time. Is Harry Charles's son? All right, let's see. No, it's not. All right. Well, he had money. He would have paid her after they got a divorce. He paid her and wanted money, because I think after William, he wanted to be not. I think he wanted to get out of the marriage after a while. Even after William was born, after a few years, he wanted to be free. He would be willing to pay. He wanted to go back to the royal family. He wanted to be single and date other people. So yeah, and he would be generous with the money, given to her to support her. If she didn't have another kid, just William was around. He would think, oh, I just have William. I'll pay you to, have a kid, William. But then, Harry came along and seeking personal closure. He said, okay. She said, oh, I'm pregnant. And he said, okay, I'll have to accept that. And he had closure. And he didn't have any closure because he felt like he was stuck, because she said, oh, I'm pregnant. And I don't, he was disconnected, and they probably didn't have too much, sex. And so he was, surprised, and there were delays, and he felt there was not going to be a closure. Like, he wanted to get a divorce, and finding out your wife is pregnant when you're not sleeping together that much, and maybe in separate rooms, he thought, what, I'm stuck. There was no closure. So that's what I think. And he had personal values, like he wanted, even though he was torn, he wanted to get a divorce from her. He was torn because he had personal values, like his parents taught him to be old-fashioned, like in England, they want you to stay married forever. So he had personal values where you have to stay married. And he was overwhelmed with the choices, like, should I stay in this loveless marriage with 2 kids, or should I be single and be a bachelor and play the field? So he lacked choices. He said, oh, I don't know what choice to make, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know what to do. So yeah, he was overwhelmed. And he didn't have purpose because right now, back then he wasn't, the king of England. His mother was the queen. He didn't really have a lot of choices. What was he going to do with his life if he was a single father, and he had a part-time, if Princess Diana was around, he would have to only see the boys part-time. So and he knew there would be confusion. The kids would be confused. Why are you and Daddy splitting up? And so yeah. So and there was also confusion about Harry's birth. Because there's confusion when he was getting old. His hair turned red, and people were confused. Like he was probably confused. Yeah, so he was confused. I'm gonna see. Did Charles ever want Harry to get a DNA test when he got older to find out his real thing? Did Charles want Harry to take a DNA test to find out his real birth? Please tell me. Did Charles want Harry to take a DNA test to find out if he was his son, even though he raised him? He was worried about the heartbreak it would do for the royal family if Harry took a DNA test. He was scared that it would, destroy the family monarchy, the bloodline, because he wouldn't be royal blood, even though they were divorced later. He was born into the bloodline of the royal family. He can never, even if even if she married him. I guess I don't know, but I think he was worried that the bloodline would be tarnished if William was not 100% royal, and there would be emotional pain. It would hurt him. So right now it says no, he didn't want his son to find out emotional loss. Yeah, it would be sorrow. He'd be upset if his son found out he wasn't. He'd get depressed. He would feel hurt. So yeah, feel hurt. He was greedy about it. He said, "Oh, I don't want you to take a blood test," because he was greedy, because he was worried that people would not want. He said, if he's not 100% royal, you can't get the money. You can't, your son shouldn't be in the called a royal family. He should go out and get a job and work. He wanted to protect himself. He was selfish. Charles wanted to protect his image and protect the royal family. So no, he didn't want to. And he wanted to avoid conflict with the people, with his sons, with Camilla, with the royal family, with the Parazzi, with people. He wanted to resist conflict. He didn't want people to fight. He didn't want to fight with that. So he did not want his son to take a DNA test because he was afraid to find out the truth. So I'll ask, is there any other questions? We know that he's not 100% sure that William's his father. He doesn't think he is. We didn't get 100% clarity that he's not, but he didn't spend a lot of time with her, so after William, so the chances are 50-50. That's what I'm reading. Is there anything else right now you want to tell me, Charles? Oh, I forgot to ask one more question. I forgot about his health. I almost forgot that. About your health, Charles, how much more long do you have? Another 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 2 years? How much more longer do you think we have on this planet before you pass on, Charles? How much more time do you have? Years, months, weeks, days? Please tell me. How long does King Charles have to live? Please tell me if you can. 3 cards. He comes from a financial and wealthy background, long term. He thinks he's a nurturing person. with nurturing family. You know, he tries to be nurturing to his grandchildren, being there for them as much as he can. But this is going to be a painful ending. He's sick. He's gonna die. You know, and he feels betrayed and lost. You know, he feels betrayed by Harry. I think the betrayal probably is from Harry and Meghan. He feels betrayed from them because of the book Harry wrote and the loss of not being able to spend time with him before he dies. If it doesn't come back, if Harry doesn't come back, he feels betrayed. He feels defeated because of his health. He's going to die. You know, the cancer defeats him, so he feels sick. So, yeah, he knows he's going to die. It doesn't say how much time he has, but he knows he's going to die. I'm going to ask one more quick question. Does Charles have anything else to tell me before the end of the reading? Please tell me, entertainment purposes. Charles, do you have anything else you want to tell me? And maybe I'll come back to the royal family. He wants to say there's disharmony in the family, you know, with Harry and Meghan and William. There's fighting, there's disagreements. He pokes stabs on, you know, the royal family by writing books, saying things. Meghan's a real piece of work and a real narcissistic. He's disharmony, there's fighting. He says there's no teamwork in this family. It's broken, completely broken. He doesn't know if it can ever get fixed. The personal goals, he fears the unknown because he knows he's dying and he fears of the unknown. What's going to happen in the future? He's fearful of his relationship with Harry and William. It's definitely Harry because, you know, he has a good relationship with William, but he has the unknown of what's going to happen with him and Harry. He's unknown, the unknown of what's going to go on before he dies. He's unknown of what's going to happen in his relationship. He wants, you know, he doesn't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know if it's good, bad, or ugly. And he wants more. He's going to try one more time to have a good relationship with Harry. He wants to try one more time to make it get better. But like I said, he fear for change and fear for loss. He's fear for loss because he's fearful that he can't get back with Harry any time because of his health, and there's fear of loss because he knows he's been hurt really badly by Harry, and he doesn't know if he can fully 100% forgive him because of what he said and done with Meghan and a lot of things what he's done personally. So, you know, it's hard for him to forgive and forget because he's a type of person who holds grudges. So, because Scorpios do. So he's fear of loss. You know, he's fearful of losing his son to Meghan and stuff. So he feels really hurt. So he's hurt. You know, he feels disharmony. He knows the time. He knows the time is ticking about his life. He knows he's not so sure about Harry, who's Harry's son, and he doesn't want to find out if he had a DNA. So he doesn't want to know how the test how it turned out. So until my next video on tarot readings or other subjects like travel or any other reviews on other things. Have a good day, entertainment purposes, and have a good day, and bye.